I never thought I'd end up in handcuffs because of a busybody in a pantsuit. But that's exactly what happened to Evelyn Karen Hargrove when she decided to play building cop on my dime. Picture this. I'm standing in the marble-floored lobby of my new Manhattan penthouse, fresh off closing the deal on a $15 million view of Central Park. And this walking HR nightmare storms in with her HOA clipboard, demanding I prove I'm not some squatter crashing her precious co-op. What she didn't know, what no one knew, was that I just quietly acquired the entire goddamn skyscraper she lorded over, including the corporate headquarters where she reigned as CEO of Hargrove Holdings, a mid-tier real estate firm built on Daddy's trust fund and her talent for terrorizing tenants. And yeah, I made sure her arrest for embezzlement hit the papers before the ink dried on her eviction notice. It started with a single email, the kind that makes your blood boil before coffee even hits your veins. Unauthorized occupancy alert, it screamed in all caps. Signed by Evelyn Hargrove, president of the Elmwood Towers Homeowners Association. I'd moved into Unit 52B 3 weeks prior, hauling in my minimalist IKEA knockoffs and a case of craft IPAs, figuring the city's elite co-op wouldn't give a damn about a 32-year-old tech bro from Silicon Valley cashing in on a crypto windfall. Wrong. Dead wrong. Elmwood Towers was her kingdom, a 60-story Art Deco relic on the Upper East Side, where doormen wore white gloves and residents whispered about standards. Evelyn, or Karen as the delivery guys called her behind her back, enforced those standards like they were the 10 Commandments etched in gold leaf. I hit reply all on that email, attaching a scan of my deed, because why not? Politeness costs nothing. Her response? A forwarded chain to the board. CCNG the super, the lawyer, and God knows who else, accusing me of forging documents. This young man claims ownership without verification, she wrote, attaching a blurry photo of my Amazon boxes piled in the freight elevator. Young man, like I was some frat kid TPing the place. I was Alex Rivera, founder of RivTech, the app that turned meme stocks into retirement plans for millennials. But to her, I was just another outsider threatening her curated bubble of Park Avenue princesses and hedge fund husbands. By noon, my buzzer was going nuts. I peered through the peephole, fisheye distortion turning her into a bloated Michelin man in a Chanel blazer. And there she was, flanked by 2 burly security guards who'd probably rather be watching Knicks highlights. Mr. Rivera, she bellowed, her voice like nails on a chalkboard amplified by entitlement. Open this door immediately. We have reason to believe you're in violation of co-op bylaws. Violation? I'd paid 6 figures in closing costs, including her precious HOA fees. But rules were her religion, and I was the heretic. I swung the door open, leaning against the frame in my gym shorts and a faded Stanford tee, coffee mug in hand. Up close, she was worse than the peephole suggested, mid-50s, easily 250 pounds crammed into size, 16 slacks that strained like they were about to surrender. Her face a roadmap of Botox gone wrong, forehead frozen in perpetual surprise, lips plumped to duckbill proportions. Blonde bob helmeted her head, and those cat-eye glasses screamed, I sue for fun. The guards shifted awkwardly, one eyeing my half-eaten bagel like it was contraband. Mrs. Hargrove, I said, all calm Midwestern politeness I'd picked up from my mom's side in Ohio. I appreciate the concern, but here's the deed. Again, I waved my phone, the PDF glowing like a shield. She snatched it, squinting as if it were written in hieroglyphs. This is insufficient. We require original hard copies, notarized, with board approval. You can't just waltz in here with digital fairy dust. Her voice dripped with that East Coast condescension, the kind that assumes your zip code determines your IQ. The guards nodded like bobbleheads, though I caught one suppressing a smirk. Look, I've got the originals in my safe. Happy to show you. But can we do this without the SWAT team? I gestured at her entourage. Her eyes narrowed to slits. This isn't a negotiation. Mr. Rivera. Elmwood Towers has standards. People like you, tech upstarts with more money than manners, think you could buy your way in. Well, not on my watch. People like you. There was the subtle racism wrapped in classism. Because, yeah, my last name's Rivera, and my skin's got that sun-kissed tan from summers in Miami with Abuela. She didn't say spick or wetback, but it hung in the air like cheap perfume. I bit back the urge to tell her where she could shove her standards, right up alongside her last kale smoothie, and invited them in. Big mistake. She marched through my half-unpacked living room like a general inspecting troops. Clipboard ticking off infractions. Unapproved throw rug. Non-regulation light fixtures. And this. This is a Keurig? We have a communal espresso machine for a reason. The guards trailed, one accidentally kicking over a box of protein bars, which she noted as littering. By the time she left, pink post-it notes plastered every surface. Remove immediately. I'd had enough. I called my lawyer, a shark named Mia, who'd clawed her way from Queens to Wall Street. Sue her ass, I said. Mia laughed. For what? Being a colossal pain? That's Tuesday in Manhattan. But then she paused. Wait, Elmwood's HOA is tied to Hargrove Holdings, right? Her company manages the building's commercial leases downstairs. Bingo. I'd done my due diligence before buying. Crypto millions don't spend themselves. Elmwood wasn't just residential. The lower 20 floors housed offices, retail, and yeah, Hargrove Holdings' flagship HQ on floors 10 through 15. Evelyn wasn't just HOA president. She was the queen bee, using association funds to feather her corporate nest. Whispers in the building's private Facebook group, which I'd joined incognito, painted her as the villain, finding widows for bird feeders, banning kids' bikes, and once evicting a single mom over a late fee that turned out to be her own accounting error. That night, nursing a bourbon on my terrace overlooking the twinkling spires of the Met, I decided, gloves off. Revenge isn't a dish best served cold. It's a slow-roast pulled pork that leaves him picking at the bones. I fired up my laptop, logged into the dark web forums where VC wolves trade secrets, and started digging. Hargrove Holdings? More like House of Cards. By dawn, I'd uncovered emails. Evelyn siphoning HOA dues into her personal slush fund for spa weekends in the Hamptons. Tax evasion on property flips. And the kicker, bribing city inspectors to overlook asbestos in the basement garage. But I didn't stop at dirt. No, I went nuclear. RivTech had cash burning a hole in Cayman accounts. And I'd been eyeing real estate to launder, diversify. A quick call to my broker. And boom, a shell company I controlled snapped up the Elmwood Towers mortgage from a distressed Japanese bank. Full ownership. The penthouse, peanuts. The whole shebang, 60 stories of prime real estate. Tenants be damned, included her precious HQ. I played it cool for weeks. Let her stew. Sent polite replies to her increasingly unhinged voicemails. Mr. Rivera, your continued defiance will result in legal action. Idismila. Hit record. And forward to Mia. The board meeting she chaired? I crashed one incognito, posing as a prospective buyer in the back row, watching her bloviate about preserving our legacy while popping Tums like candy. The other residents, silver-haired widows, Wall Street refugees, nodded along, too scared to push back. But cracks showed, murmurs about rising fees, leaks in the spa that she blamed on careless help. Then came the gala, Elmwood's annual black tie fundraiser at the Pierre Hotel, where the elite preened over caviar and Chardonnay. Toasting Evelyn's visionary leadership, I rented a tux, Armani, slim fit, and slipped in with a fake invite Mia forged. there she was, holding court by the grand piano, her gown a tint of emerald silk that pooled around her like spilled gravy, regaling donors with tales of upholding excellence. I sidled up, champagne flute in hand, and dropped the bomb casual as a weather report. Evening, Evelyn. Nice spread. On the place yet? I said, clinking glasses. She turned, recognition dawning like a hangover. You, the squatter. This event is invitation only. I grinned, pulling out my phone. Funny you mention ownership. Check your email. Ping. Her assistant's face went ghost white as she forwarded the alert. Foreclosure notice on Hargrove Holdings lease. Eviction in 30 days. My shell company, Rivera Properties, now landlord. Her face cycled through colors, rose to beat to ashen. This is a prank. A forgery. She snatched a passing waiter's arm, nearly toppling a tray of shrimp cocktail. Security, but I wasn't done. Oh, and the HOA? Dissolved. Effective immediately. Your standards? Poof. Along with that little side hustle, $2.7 million in maintenance fees rerouted to your Botox fund. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones came out, whispers turning to buzz. One dowager in pearls clutched her pearls, literally, muttering, I knew it. That woman's always had sticky fingers. Evelyn lunged, swiping at my phone like a bear after picnic scraps. Lies. All lies. I'll sue you into the gutter. Her voice cracked, that frozen forehead finally creasing with sweat. The guards, former Elmwood hires, now on my payroll, gently but firmly escorted her toward the exit as she flailed, knocking over an ice sculpture of the Statue of Liberty. It shattered on the marble. Symbolic as hell. By morning, the Post had it, co-op queen dethroned. CEO Karen's empire crumbles in gala meltdown. Twitter X was ablaze. Karen crash. Memes of her face photoshopped onto the Titanic. But the real hammer dropped when the Fed showed up at her Park Avenue brownstone. Turns out, my diggers had tipped off the IRS anonymously. Embezzlement. Guide fraude. The works. As they cuffed her on the stoop, robe flapping like a defeated flag. Neighbors cheered from windows. Bitter? Nah. Poetic. She demanded proof I own my slice of sky. I just handed her the whole pie and watched her choke on it. The fallout was sweeter than the tiramisu at that gala. But revenge, like a good IPA, has layers you peel back slow to savor the hoppy bite. I woke up the next day in my penthouse, now officially my kingdom. No HOA overlords to nitpick the throw pillows, to a symphony of notifications. Mia's text first. Feds have her in holding. Bail hearing at 10. Want popcorn? Followed by a flood from the building's chat. Alex, you're a hero, from Mrs. Goldstein in 48C, who'd been fined $500 for her chihuahua's excessive barking. Then the reporters, TMZ voicemail begging for the inside scoop on the Skyscraper slayer. I ignored most, brewing espresso in my non-regulation Keurig, but one email stopped me cold. From Hargrove Holdings Board, emergency meeting requested. Your involvement noted. Involvement. Understatement of the year. I own their ass now. Lease be damned. But curiosity's an itch you gotta scratch. So I suited up, Zegna, crisp white shirt, no tie for that Silicon Valley edge, and headed downtown to their glassbox office on Broad Street. No. Wait, the old office. Elmwood's floors were locked. Yellow tape courtesy of my eviction crew jackhammering out the old signage by dawn. The temp space was a sad affair, a WeWork knockoff in Flatiron. Folding tables and sad ficus plants wilting under fluorescent hate. The board, 5 gray suits with receding hairlines and one token millennial with blue hair, huddled around a conference call screen like survivors of a shipwreck. Evelyn was absent, naturally, but her ghost loomed, framed articles of her rise to power taped crookedly to the walls. Mr. Rivera, the chair. A walrus-mustached fossil named Hargrove, distant uncle. Maybe wheezed. This is highly irregular. Irregular? I slid into the head seat. Uninvited, dropping a folder of printouts. Like cooking the books for 15 years? Or using co-op funds for your niece's sweet 16 yacht party? Gasps. Blue Hair's eyes widened like she'd hit the lottery. Walrus cleared his throat. Allegations. Unproven. I tapped the folder. Audited. By Deloitte. On my dime. Page 47. $450,000 wire to EH Personal. That's her, right? Evelyn Hargrove. Queen of the clipboards. The room deflated. Whispers of "I told you so," and "we should have listened." Turns out, they'd suspected for years her visionary expansions, always mysteriously over budget, but fear kept them leashed. Fear of her tantrums. Her Rolodex of connected lawyers. Her ability to make life hell with a single email blast. "We need a plan," Blue Hair piped up, voice quivering with that Gen Z fire. "Buy us time. Restructure." I leaned back, steepling fingers like every tech mogul in a bad biopic. Time? Sure. For $10 million. Cash. And I get veto on all hires, including any Hargroves. Walrus sputtered. Extortion. Business, I corrected. "You want to keep the lights on? Sign here." It was a sweetheart deal, me injecting capital for equity, turning their sinking ship into a yacht club. But it stung them. Oh, how it stung. By noon, contracts signed, and I was out, Ubering back uptown with a smirk that could have cracked mirrors. Word spread like wildfire in a dry Hamptons hedge fund. By evening, my Penthouse buzzer sang again, not Karen. Thank God. But a parade, the super with a six-pack as apology. Mrs. Goldstein bearing rugula and gossip. She once called animal control on my schnauzer. Even the doorman slipping me Nick's tickets with a wink. Elmwood felt alive. Unbuttoned. Kids biked in the lobby, gasp. Someone blasted reggaeton from a subwoofer, double gasp. And no pink post-its in sight. But Evelyn, she wasn't done clawing. Bail hearing went south, Judge. A no-nonsense Latina from the Bronx named Rivera. Coincidence? Karma? Denied it, citing flight risk to her Cayman bolt hole. Ouch. The tabloids feasted. Daily News splash with her mugshot. Jowls sagging under jail fluorescence. Caption from Penthouse to Slammer. X lit up with threads. Finally, a Karen takedown for the ages, justice for tenants. One viral vid, shot by a neighbor, showed her being let out in cuffs. Screeching, "This is harassment. I built this city, built it on sand. Lady, I should have stopped there. Basked in the glow. But nah. See, betrayal's a two-way street. And mine ran deeper than her clipboard crusades. Flashback to 6 months prior. I'd been house hunting. Naive as a tourist in Times Square. When my realtor, some slick Tribeca type, mentioned Elmwood. Prime. But watch the HOA press. She's a piranha in pearls. Ignored it. Closed fast. High on the view. Then the email started, escalating to her cornering me in the gym. That rack of weights? Unapproved. In your playlist, Drake? This is a classical establishment. It wasn't just annoyance, it was erasure. She saw my success, crypto kid turned king, and couldn't compute. How does a boy like you afford this? She'd sneered once. Mid-lunge on the treadmill. Boy, like my abuela's sacrifices. My late dad's factor shifts in Ohio. My mom's endless community college nights. Poof. Invisible. So yeah, the skyscraper buy, not impulse. Calculated. I'd eyed the mortgage docs weeks before moving in, sensing her rot from the first whiff. Now, with her empire in my pocket, I twisted the knife gentle. Sent flowers to her cell, roses, red as rage, with a card, proof of ownership enclosed. Enjoy the view. Enclosed? A mini-deed replica. Stamped Rivera Properties, now renting your future. Juvenile? Maybe. But her lawyer called Mia raging. Psychological warfare. Mia's reply. Send billing. Weeks blurred into a victory lap. I renovated the penthouse, gutted the fussy crown molding for open concept vibes. Installed a home gym with Bluetooth speakers blasting everything from Bad Bunny to Bach. The board? Stacked with allies now, Mrs. G as treasurer. Blue hair from HQ as secretary. Fees dropped 30%. Leaks fixed overnight. Elmwood breathed. Residents unbunched their pearls. But Evelyn simmered. Her arraignment made headlines. Co-op czar faces 20 years. She pled not guilty. Of course. Ranting in court about a vast conspiracy led by that upstart Spaniard. Spaniard. There was again. The ugly underbelly. The judge banged her gavel. Counselor, restrain your client or I'll add contempt. Twitter erupted. Karen courtroom meltdown. Clips of her red-faced flailing going viral faster than cat videos. I watched from my terrace. Scotch in hand. The city lights winking like conspirators. Bitter end? For her. Yeah. Probation whispers turn to plea deals. Her assets frozen. That brownstone on the auction block. But for me, catharsis. Proof that in America, the land of second acts, sometimes the first act's bully gets the curtain call in orange. You'd think toppling a titan like Evelyn would bring peace. Like hitting reset on a glitchy app and watching the lag vanish. Wrong again. Turns out, revenge is an algorithm. Feed it data, and it spits out sequels you didn't code for. 2 months post-gala. Elmwood was my utopia. Potlucks in the lobby, tacos from my Miami roots alongside Mrs. G's Kugel. No fine Fridays for bird feeders. Even a resident DJ night in the old spa pool. Now drained and decked with fairy lights. I turned the beast into a block party. And the gratitude flowed. Handshakes in elevators. Invites to bridge games I politely dodged. Hargrove Holdings? Rebranded under my watchful eye as Elmwood Ventures. A lean machine churning green energy flips and affordable housing pods. Blue hair. Real name, Jordan, ran ops like a boss. Her first memo axing Evelyn's mandatory monogram towels policy for the gym. Walrus retired to Florida, muttering about kids these days, but not before cashing my golden parachute check. Life was good, crisp as autumn apples from the Union Square Green Market. Then the postcard arrived, mailed from Rikers, postmarked with that stark correction ink. Dear Mr. Rivera, enjoy my empire while it lasts. You'll be next. EH. Creepy? Hell yes. But I framed it in my office, next to the deed, as a trophy. Mia scoffed when I showed her. Paranoid much? She's got bigger fish. Her trial starts next week. Bigger fish. Like the Fed's star witness. Her ex-CFO. A weaselly guy named Todd who'd flipped for immunity after she stiffed his alimony. The trial was spectacle porn. Manhattan Supreme Court. All wood panel gravitas and fluorescent truth. I testified remotely, zoomed from my penthouse. Hair perfect. Background the skyline to flex subtle. Your Honor. MS. Hargrove's actions weren't isolated. They eroded community trust for personal gain. The DA, a bulldog in brogues, entered my audits as exhibit. Spreadsheets blooming like poisonous flowers. Tracing her $2.70 mill trail from co-op coffers to Cayman cruises. Evelyn took the stand in an ill-fitting Navy suit that hung like defeat, her once-frozen face sagging under the weight of reality. No macaparme, just pallid skin and eyes darting like cornered rats. She spun yarns. It was all above board. Temporary loans for the greater good. But cross-exam? The DA shredded her. Greater good like the $18,000 consulting fee to your pool boy lover? Jury gasps echoed through the feed. Twitter live tweeted every zinger. Karen Kablooey trending nationwide. Her breakdown came day 3. Mid-recess, cameras caught her in the hall, sobbing into a hanky monogrammed EH, wailing to her lawyer. He ruined me. That little brown-nosing hacker. Brown-nosing. Hacker. The clip exploded, CNN pickup. Late-night monologues. Seth Meyers. Folks, if you're going to go down, at least don't drag race into the dumpster fire. Backlash tsunami. Civil rights groups calling out her bigotry. Tenants' unions picketing the old HQ with signs, "No more Karens in charge." I stayed above the fray. But guilt? Nah. This was justice. American style. Messy. Loud. With popcorn for the masses. Still, late nights on the terrace. City hum below. I'd wonder, was I the hero or just another shark in a tank? Abuela's voice echoed. Me, Joe. Success is sweet, but bitterness poisons the well. Was I poisoned? Then the twist. Jordan buzzed me at Elmwood Ventures. Boss, we got a problem. Anonymous tip line. Someone's alleging you bribed the bank for the mortgage. Bribed? My blood iced. Who? Footprint traced to Riker's IP. Evelyn. For her cell. Stirring geschieht via Smagelburner. Mia mobilized. Traceable. Dismissible. But it'll cost PR spin. Cost. I'd pay. Hired a crisis firm. Ex-FBI spinners who turned Enron into lessons learned. Press release. Baseless claims from a disgraced defendant. Rivera Properties committed to transparency. It worked mostly. A few blogs sniffed, but the trial drowned it out. Verdict day. Guilty on all counts. 20 years. No parole. Evelyn's wail from the dock. This isn't over. Cut short by the gavel. Court TV ate it up. Post-trial. She did the jailhouse interview circuit, griping to 60 Minutes knockoffs. He targeted me because I'm a strong woman in power. Strong? More like stubborn. Ratings gold. But her end? Bitter as quinine. Auction of her brownstone fetched half asking. Bidders wary of the curse. Hargrove, name scrubbed from plaques. Her kids, estranged. Per the tabloids, changing surnames. Last I heard, she was penning a memoir from Gen Pop, betrayed by the system, as CEOs fight back. Betrayed? Bought. Kettle. But her real sting came quieter. A letter, months later, slipped into my door. You won the battle? Alex. But wars leave scars. Sleep tight. And signed. But the perfume, Chanel no. 5. Her signature reeked of vendetta. I burned it in the sink, watching flames dance like her gala meltdown. Scars? Sure. Hers ran deeper, etched in bars and regret. Elmwood thrived without her shadow. I mentored Jordan, funded a tenants' rights nonprofit from co-op profits. Crypto dipped, but real estate soared. My Skyscraper, a crown jewel. Leased to startups with inclusive clauses. Yet in quiet moments, scrolling X for Karen Watch updates, she'd become a meme template. When your revenge plot backfires, I'd feel the echo. Controversy? Check. Her bigotry unearthed old lawsuits, painting her as the villain she was. Backlash. Her old allies ghosted. Board members testifying against her for leniency. Outrage. Public cheers at her sentencing. Petitions for HOA reform nationwide. But the bitter end? It wasn't just hers. Revenge hollows you. Leaves a penthouse feeling echoey despite the views. I dated a barista with tattoos and zero filter. But trust? Shaky. Every clipboard I saw triggered flashbacks. Still, America's rhythm pulsed on. Hustle. Forgive, maybe. Repeat. Evelyn rotted in her cell, plotting sequels she'd never write. Me? I owned the skyline. And that, in this city of concrete dreams, was proof enough. Epilogues in real life aren't tidy. They're like that last slice of pizza, cold, a bit greasy, but you eat it anyway because closure's a myth. A year after the cuffs clicked on Evelyn's wrists, Manhattan had moved on. Elmwood Towers, Retristened Rivera Residencies. With a rooftop farm, Mrs. G's idea, organic kale for all, and diversity scholarships for the staff's kids. I'd step back from day to day, handing reins to Jordan, who turned it into a model for co-op reform, transparent books, elected reps, sans silver spoons. Tenants loved it. Potlucks evolved into block parties with food trucks slinging empanadas and knishes, the lobby pulsing with laughter instead of lectures. Hargrove Holdings, Elmwood Ventures boomed. Green retrofits on the commercial floors drew Tesla types and nonprofit HQs. My equity stake funding Abuela's Miami condo upgrade. Crypto rebounded. RivTech IPO whispers kept the nights buzzing with VC schmoozes at Le Bernardin. Life? Polished. But Evelyn's ghost lingered. A glitch in the matrix. It hit during a routine board meeting. Virtual now. Pandemic habits die hard. Jordan's screen flickered. Incoming call from DOC Records, Department of Corrections. We patch her in. Curiosity outweighing caution. There she was, pixelated in khaki scrubs. Hair a graying bob. Face stripped of its war paint. Lines like subway maps. Eyes hollowed by regret's grind. Alex, she croaked. Voice gravel from disuse. Not here to beg. Just. Explain. Explain? I'm muted. Glanced at Jordan's wide eyes. 5 minutes, I said. Unmuting. Then block. She leaned in, the feed glitching her double chin into a blur. I thought I was protecting something sacred. Legacy. My father's building. You know, he built Elmwood post-depression. Brick by brick. I twisted it. The money. The rules. It started small. A loophole here. A favor there. Then the entitlement. God. The entitlement. A laugh. Bitter as burnt toast. You were the mirror I didn't want. Young. Brown. Loaded. Everything I wasn't. So I lashed. Demanded proof because deep down, I doubted my own. Confession hour in khakis. Part of me softened. America loves a redemption arc, but nah. Doubted? You forged my deed. Evelyn. Bribe inspectors. Call me boy like it was 1950. She winced. Poison. From Dad's era. He hated outsiders too. I carried it like a bad gene. Pause. Tears smearing the lens. The arrest? Humiliating. But your buyout. That was checkmate. Smart. Ruthless. I respect it. In a twisted way. Respect. From the queen of clipboards. Jordan texted under the table. Trap? Maybe. But I pressed. And now, memoir selling. A shrug. Vanity publish. 10 copies to the warden. Real legacy? Warning others. Karens like me were symptoms, not the disease. Power unchecked. Fear of the other. You're fixing it. Good. Mute. Jordan. Holy shit. Unmute. Apology accepted. Sort of. Stay out of trouble. She nodded. Feed cutting to black. Silence stretched. Was it closure? Nah. But it humanized her, a bloated bully. Yes. But cracked vessel for generational rot. I donated her memoir, proceeds to anti-discrimination orgs. Anonymous. The Real. End came softer. Walking Central Park one crisp fall morn. Leaves crunching under Nikes. Podcast droning true crime. Ironic. A jogger bumped me. Hey, you're that guy. The Karen Slayer. She grinned. Ponytail swinging. Saw the trial. Epic. My HOA's a nightmare. Any tips? I laughed. Handing her a card. Elmwood Ventures contact. Start with transparency. And maybe buy the building. She bolted, yelling thanks over her shoulder. That's when it hit, the cycle. Evelyn's poison lingered in a million mini Karens. Clipboards at the ready. My revenge? A spark. Not the fire. But damn if it didn't warm the night. Back home. Terrace lights on. City sprawl infinite. I poured scotch. Toast to the skyline, my skyline. Bitter? For her. Yeah, 20 years pondering what-ifs in a 6x8. For me, bittersweet. Like aged bourbon, burns going down, glows after. Proof owned, grudges half buried. In America, that's as close to happy as it gets. And if another Karen buzzes, I'll answer. Door open. Deed ready. Game on.